AUKUS is a partnership that's based around the Indo-Pacific region, and I mean, for many countries, it's Taiwan is explicitly part and an important part of that Indo-Pacific region. What does AUKUS mean for Taiwan?
Well, what it means for Taiwan is what it means for Australia, and that's that these Australian subs that we will apparently receive in 20 years or so will change the strategic posture of Australia, because the subs that Australia has on order from the French, which they're cancelling, are conventional subs, which are shorter range. They're more equipped to defend the area around Australia, but with these longer range subs, what it'll mean is that Australia can support particularly US operations in places like the South China Sea and East China Seas, and that has obvious implications for operations surrounding Taiwan.
I mean, you mentioned France's reaction to this, and they've reacted very angrily to the news of the partnership and the cancellation of their submarine deal with Australia, calling it a stab in the back. What's the next step for France in terms of reviving its Indo-Pacific strategy, and how might Taiwan figure in those plans for France?
Well, as you've mentioned, France is enraged, and to some degree the rage that France is expressing at the moment is quite understandable. The French have stated that the AUKUS arrangements came as a sudden shock, that they were never informed, and the Australian government has confirmed that they rang the French at 8:30 the night before the public announcement. Now, frankly, this is no way to treat an ally. The diplomacy is sloppy here. From the point of view of Indo-Pacific security, this is not good news. It causes tension among allies who would usually be advocating for a free and open Indo-Pacific, including the area around Taiwan, the South China Sea. And causes divisions where, frankly, there didn't really need to be any. This could have been handled in a much defter way. I don't think this is too risky for Taiwan, but the fact that Western allies who are committed to notions like the rules-based international order have been committed to the Indo-Pacific, the fact that these allies are arguing can't be a positive development for Taiwan either.
Now, the day after the AUKUS announcement, the foreign and defence ministers of the US and Australia issued a joint statement that spells out an intent to strengthen ties with Taiwan, which they call a leading democracy and a critical partner for both countries. And that comes after Australian exports to Taiwan have also grown dramatically, particularly in the last 5 years. Could we be beginning to see a golden era in Australia-Taiwan ties?
Yeah, certainly. While I'd hesitate to call it a golden era, you're certainly seeing much more attention paid to Taiwan in Australia, and that's really as a result of the rise of China and frictions between the PRC and Australia. Taiwan figures much more into Australia's strategic calculations, and as a result, you do get people focusing a lot more on not necessarily the nitty-gritty of Taiwanese politics and society, but certainly the notion that Taiwan is a democracy and shares very many of the norms and standards that Australia and its allies do.
Dr. Bryce Wakefield, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much, Stash.